ours to push them back, but we did. What was once a prosperous river trade, the Mississippi, is now the front line. The eastern states supply the river states, and what's left of the UA live out their meager days self-policing. What is the West hiding? Nobody really knows for sure. But we're alive, and this is the new frontier.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to We're Alive Frontier. We are back on track, so to speak, except you're not, really. You're coming off of the rail line in order to go venture into a salt mine with a bunch of New Havenites in the hopes that you might find something in order to deal with the dam, so to speak. Well, yeah. Am I missing anything there?
A quick question with that then.
Yeah.
Does this count as like a side mission so we don't get competency points?
Yes, you're off mission officially. So you won't get any bonus competency points.
No bonus, but I think
You'll
get our
still
two.
get your standard 2. And did anyone have any left over from
I had 2 left.
You had 2 left over?
I had 1 left over.
That'll give you 3 survival points extra.
I always use up all 4, you guys. What am I gonna do?
You keep burning them. Right?
We need them.
Because you're so
obviously
competent.
need them.
Yeah. But I'll happily give you your 115 now.
We're at 112. You gave us 3.
Math is great.
Yeah.
Fundamental.
Fundamental.
Mental Monday.
I learned math from my toddler. So
Clever
100 and, 115 is what your global pool is at the moment. You also have 137 left in the rail driver. When we last left our troop, they were venturing into New Haven, establishing good relationships with the locals, although some are a little wary about having the UA come into their perfect little New Haven. And yeah, but they're willing to strike a deal if you could work out a favor for them, which involves an incident that they're dealing with as far as some creatures. Marion had agreed in order to bring a couple of her men in order to travel with you up to some salt mines that are across the river into the mountains in the north, which is, to be fair, a good 10-mile hike. You know, it's not right across the river.
Before we walk in, before we head out, I should say, I want to go check on Sarah just real quick before we go, because we're probably going to take off early in the morning, and I don't think we're
I
going to have
suggest
time.
we try and get a few medical supplies while we're here also. We have some cigarettes and other stuff we can trade. If there's anything else anyone doesn't need,
Yeah.
let me know now.
If you guys want to go and head to the doctor's office and see if you can get anything, I'm going to head over to the fisherman to see if I can barter for some dinner.
Ray and Kent, you head into the doctor's office, which is actually still one of the wings of the community center in this old kind of pre-outbreak scenario. It's been one of the few parts that have done extremely well in trying to refurbish it and keep it up. So while it's not as clean as you would imagine a hospital before the outbreak had occurred, they've done a relatively great job. It doesn't have dirt floors. It has worn but clean walls, and you can see that a lot of the orderlies that are keeping track of it, there's not many, 1 or 2, but you find Sarah in one of the small kind of patient rooms, and she's hooked up to an IV, and you can actually hear the beep of a monitor that's keeping track of her pulse and her vitals. You know? And it is just, it's kind of impressive.
They have this
that
out
they
here.
have this kind of stuff. And you meet the tall, kind of burly man who looks like he hasn't had much sleep, but at this point he's just talking to one of the nurses. You seem to be back, not father.
Yeah, not father and not mother are here to check on our not daughter.
Right, not father, not daughter. Well, we've got her fluid, she's hydrated up, and at this point I feel like she's probably going to make a fine recovery. It was mostly just malnutrition and the dehydration we're worried about, but despite the fact that she smells like she's been living in a pile of trash for weeks, she doesn't have any disease and she doesn't seem to be carrying any infection with her.
Is she awake?
No, she's been sleeping literally for the last 12 hours.
Thanks for looking after her.
Hey, it's what I do. It's a tough job, but it's a tough world. And I have to say, saving little ones' lives feel that much better than some of these other assholes that are sitting around the community. So I'll look after her, okay?
Thanks. Let's head back to the rail driver.
Yeah, so Band-Aid.
Yeah.
You're gonna go over to some of the fishermen.
Yep.
Yeah. So you see a couple of them just scaling it, and God, it's just like a whiz how quick he is with that skinning knife. It's like it does it every day. As he's just whittling away the scales, peeling the bones out, and kind of getting it ready for fillets, just to make it so that most of the people who are doing the home care can actually just cook it pretty easily. So,
Hey, that's pretty amazing.
yeah.
Any way that we could maybe barter for some of that? I know that we're not part of the community per se, but we're just as hungry as everybody else.
Hold on a sec. Hey, Jimmy. He watches like a kind of a tall, bald man with a wife beater and just fish all over the front of him. Kind of like comes up to the front and goes, "Yeah, what's up, Johnson?" Hey, Jimmy. You caught one of those big catfish out today, didn't you? Like one of those big noodling? Did you get some of that done last weekend? Oh yeah, I caught me a big noodle. What you looking for? You want a piece? You want a dice for it? No. But this UA folk here, yeah, he's looking for some fresh fish tonight. So you wanna trade some of that out? Well, you want me to feed it Easter night with my catfish or my big old fishing dish?
Well,
What you got, big guy?
I heard mention of dice. Are you a gambling man?
Yeah, you and the liar's dice?
Yep.
Let's pop out some dice. You watch as he it's almost like it just appeared out of nowhere as he just pulls to a folding card table and slaps it down. Kind of like wipes some of the fish grime off it as he pulls out a leather cup that he starts shaking it, as you can hear the sound of dice inside of it as he pops it down in front of you. So.
Lucky Jenny wanders.
It's just the sound of dice. She's like,
Yes, I can smell it. Yeah, Lucky Jenny wanders over, and immediately she is into this.
"Oh, this is my my crack engineer from Stern Industries. Yeah, how are you doing, Lucky Jenny?"
Great. You mind if I step in? It's been a while.
It's kind of an agreement, but if that's okay with you.
Is she playing for you?
Yeah.
You scared?
Oh, she's already starting with the talk. All right, girly girl. You got your own dice?
Sure do.
Hey, why don't we make this more interesting?
Oh, I like interesting.
We see your noodle, and we're gonna add in a ration slip as well.
Ration slip. My ration slip. You want my fish? And you want my dinner? What are you offering up?
Well, I've got scavenge cards.
So you basically pull out a bunch of scavenge that you found during
Yeah.
the day, and he kind of looks at some of it and is like, oh, looks like a lot of plastic junk.
And what about some cigarettes?
That I will definitely keep you. Dinner for a pack? Let's do this. All right.
Supermodel diet.
4 5s. Ooh, I can see that brain working in there. What do you think?
Liar.
One.
3 5s.
Oh, 3 5s? Shit, you got 1 5.
I take away a dice.
Ah. Ah.
5 twos.
Liar.
We have 3 2s.
I have 1.
4.
So 5 2s. I lose. Duh. Close. Oh wait, 5 2s. You call me a liar. Yes. So wait, did I do that? I did that wrong. Yes.
I think you just weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
All right.
Dice have been rolled already.
Dice have been rolled.
No backsies.
2 4s. 3 4s.
3 4s, huh? You think there's 3 4s in here? Yeah, there's definitely 3 4s in here. Huh.
That's an interesting thing to say.
Hey, what's your name?
It's Jimmy.
You got anything to drink? Why don't you pour us
Oh, yeah!
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're drinking and
Yes, we
gambling.
are drinking and
He
gambling.
pulls out a, like, comically sized Viking flask that looks into it that actually has, like a weird looking deer head on it. That's been like brushed into it as he pulls it out and claps it down on the table. Swig goes to the next dice loser. All right, liar.
1 4.
2 4s.
3 4s. We win.
Take a swig.
Better rule. I already had half of this thing today.
I couldn't tell.
Hey, you know what? It helps drown out the smell of the fish. All right. 2 2s.
2 2s. 3 2s.
4 2s.
Liar.
Shit!
Take another drink, Jimmy!
Oh, man.
This game is fun! I'm not even there!
Okay, let's do this.
3 3s.
3 6s.
Liar.
Gotcha, Jenny!
There's only 2 6s.
Shit!
Jimmy, you had me there for a second.
All right.
She's gonna pass out before the game's over.
Did you take a
No, I've got. Let me just finish it. You watch it's like it's just going. It's just going. It's just going. It's just going. It's just going.
No, Jimmy. Jimmy.
Yeah.
3 2s.
What?
3 2s. Do you think I'm a liar?
Yeah, I think you're a liar.
Well, I do.
What?
3 2s.
No way. Well, you got a lot of dice, so it's just. What?
Wild.
Yeah.
1
What?
2 3.
Fuck. All right. Oh, come here, sissy. And he goes and grabs the fish and like slaps it down. You know what? I haven't had anyone new to play liar's dice with in like 5 or 6 months. So here. And he watches just sloppily just starts
no.
skinning it.
Oh, good.
Just butchering this thing. He's not doing a good job because he's so
be
drunk.
careful with the knife.
So he's just kind of lumbering around and oh yeah, I should probably put the glove on. He watches he puts the chainmail glove on a little bit as he starts hacking at the fish skin, and now that he's got it on, he watches it like clanks against his hands a few times before he gets it together, and he
Cigarette ash.
and he
is falling into the
Yep. Oh no, he didn't get the cigarettes.
get the cigarettes.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I take 1 cigarette out,
That's a good
and I
sport.
pass it to Jimmy.
That's a good
I
sport.
believe we were looking for a little slip of paper too.
Yeah, and you watch as he just throws a giant fillet down on there,
Oh.
and then puts the ration ticket just right on top of the fish. So
Ugh.
Delicious.
I'm gonna take the ticket and give it back to the other guy.
all right, well, you watch as like as the fishmonger kind of like looks at Jimmy and he's like, that wasn't fair. Jimmy sucks at liar's dice.
It was his call.
I get it, Jimmy. You're a fucking dick. I can't believe you keep playing after all this. What? It's fun. What else are we supposed to do around here besides drink and fuck? And he watches. He just like is like, all right, well here, and he cuts up another portion. It's like, here's Jimmy's portion. And he kind of throws down another fillet for you of some trout or other river fish, and you guys walk away with 2 giant fillets
Jimmy,
for tonight.
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, if you want to polish this off tonight, I'm right there.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Was that to either or just Jimmy?
Either. Boat. Yeah.
Oh, ooh. I'm gonna get going.
good fish.
You guys all meet back up Wraith, have you wanted to wander around at all in this place?
Well, actually, Wraith has been at the rail driver this time.
Tapping his foot.
Well, actually, a little even weirder than that.
Yeah.
They've all been gone for a while, and they're all coming back to the rail driver now, right?
Yeah.
And you approach the rail driver, and you can see that there are a few like sort of safety candles, like arranged in like a row, like a path is demarked.
Yeah.
And then there's a camping stove that's lit, that's on like a few like crates, like stacked up. And then Wraith is standing behind those crates with what looks like a carved like wooden bowl in his hands, and he's just sort of like chanting and sort of gurgling. And then there's an arch made of like bracken, like sort of sticks and other things like that. They've been like lashed together with paracord.
Awesome.
He's made this sort of like arch that goes like over him, is at the head of this path. And he's just standing there like chanting, and his face is like illuminated from below, and it's like his hood is up, and he's just sort of chanting. And he's got this sort of weird bowl of stuff.
It's the door like slams open and light pours through just into
Yep.
his makeshift ritual space.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna whisper to Stingray.
What's up, dude?
You have returned.
Did we disturb you, or?
No,
Oh,
your coming was prophesized.
What's in the bowl?
Blood.
who's?
Animals.
Oh,
To bless us on our journey tomorrow.
I appreciate that.
I brought fish.
He goes, come, we must share our stories.
Hey, whatever works, you guys. I don't care if we have to swing a dead chicken over our head and throw a pumpkin in the river. If it works, it works. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Don't give them ideas.
All right, so people just sort of line up or whatever?
What do I do with the fish? Can I put it on the camping stove?
Let's start cooking this.
Yeah.
You can put
Yeah.
wherever you need to.
Or will that disturb the ritual?
No, in fact, you should give some as an offering to the gods.
Okay.
Do they want us to cook it first?
They will accept it in whatever way you present it, as long as it is with a kind spirit.
Kent's gonna walk over and just kind of touch the railing. Strange, like.
You see it's got like little animal bones and stuff tied to it. And then there's also like looks like a plastic like model plane, you know, of like a 747 or something like that is like hanging from it.
Let's just remember never to leave him alone again.
There's a symbol worked into the head of the arch made out of twigs, which is this sort of symbol that you've seen painted on walls and stuff like that.
Ah.
You know, it's like
Yeah,
you've seen
yeah.
it painted like, it seems like a graffiti that you've seen before,
Right.
especially in like urban areas.
Yeah, like
yeah,
a
yeah.
protective symbol.
Protective.
Yeah. Cool.
Or in tattoos.
Yeah.
Word.
So you all sit down to kind of like ritualistically cook this fish and enjoy it together.
And I very comfortably sit closest to you.
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, he does some chanting stuff, and then towards like the end of the ritual, there's a sort of pregnant pause, you know, and he says, "Now we must share our tales. We must trade something, a secret we've never told anyone from our pasts."
It's like a game of truth or dare.
I'm gonna take a bite of catfish.
Thought you didn't like catfish.
I don't. But I'm hungry. He got trout too, didn't he?
Yeah.
If we eat this shit first, the trout tastes better.
Do not violate the space.
Oh.
Ray must share her story.
I wasn't always a sharpshooter. And something I learned along the way. Survival skill, you could call it. Career path change. Made a lot more sense than what I used to do.
And what was that?
Something I discovered I wasn't as good at. But I discovered it in the wrong way.
The gods are honored by your sacrifice.
You know, I haven't been with you folks for very long. But from what I've seen, you people are ready to die in a good way. And I'm ready to die with you. We're here together. So we'll eat this meal together. And when we collect water, we'll drink it together. And when we walk, we'll walk together.
Yes, we will.
Jenny?
I'm deaf in my left ear. That's it. I don't want to get into that.
I'm gonna share something with you guys that I haven't told anybody else out here. I used to be very, very good at video games, and I miss it a lot.
I'm gonna punch you.
Sarah, I'm telling the truth. Very, very good at video games.
We'll tell you very vulnerable things, and
That was vulnerable.
Hey, I got a question.
Video games can be very important. I
this-
enjoyed them too before the fall.
Can we ask something?
Yes.
You know, I know a lot of traditions from all over the world. This one is an amalgam I've never seen before. Is this of your own creation?
In a way, but don't all traditions start that way?
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. That's why I'm asking.
I've not done this before. I've thought of it, but this is the first time.
So thanks for honoring us with that.
Wraith, what about you?
What's your secret?
I let my brother die. I could have helped him. And when our plane crashed, I could have done more to help him. And I didn't. And now I must carry his name as well as my own.
How about you have some of this fish with us since we all have got something to mourn right now?
Yes.
It is an excellent dinner of fish. In fact, it kind of pales into comparison to what Band-Aid and Ray brought out.
Duh.
Well, I
I
put
mean-
the love into it. This is just.
And I overcooked it. I was dealing with Sarah.
Oh, okay.
But this is fine. In fact, if anything, with a lot of the rations, some of the extra spices and elements that come with Jimmy's part of his dinner, it's kind of almost like a home-cooked dinner, which is nice in your little sleeper quarter that is this part of the rail driver. And it has a homey feeling to it. Your pleasant night leads into a beautiful dawn as the beginning of the new day occurs, which I believe at this point is day 5 of the
think so.
journey. I think that sounds about accurate.
And just so that we're aware, we've made some really good time, like opposing the schedule that was supposed to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you had ran this thing hard, pretty much with no stops, you would essentially you could have made it in 4.5 days.
Oh, so
So-
we're just like a half day above that.
Yeah, and at this point, and with as much as you've been dealing with,
Yeah.
I think it's fair. You've also originally, before the Raiders got to it, you originally requisitioned at least 2 weeks worth of food. And you've made some of your own meals in the meantime. So, yeah, not bad. But we're on the morning of day 5 of the Missouri River Runner route. And you come out in order to see Marion and her 2 guard, or her 2 militia, who one seems to be a spry man with bright eyes, cut short hair, and a little bit of a sleeveless tank top that he's wearing loose over a pair of jeans that seem to have like high, knee-high kind of boots. So you could tell he's used to the warm weather, the warm, humid weather. The other one seems to be a little more built as far as climbing a mountain goes. He's got a rugged jacket, as well as an overshirt, and he's carrying a hunting rifle, as well as a backpack with most of their climbing gear. And they seem to be with Marion, who also has her backpack. You could see she's carrying a shotgun, as well as a large combat knife on the side. And she's got boots and straps for days. Everything's completely affixed on her in such a way that it just cuts a striking figure as she stands there tall and lean against the wooden posts of New Haven.
I think we are going to take this moment to kind of kit up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disclose what we're going to grab. I'm going to be searching the rail driver for a pickaxe to
Right.
take down into the mine.
All right. You can absolutely purchase that. That'll be 15.
Okay.
Can I search for another combat knife Is there another combat knife on the rail driver?
There is absolutely more knives.
Oh,
you
nice.
can get that for short, piercing, and slashing room. It's another 15. It'll take you to 108.
And I'd like just an empty pack for,
A
any
backpack?
dynamite we find, I just stuff it.
Good looking out. Do you have a pickaxe card?
I do, yes. Would you also just load up? Because we got to get this thing moving. Marion's looking very anxious to get on the road.
Okay. Thank you.
Well played.
You're welcome.
And then just to clarify, I'm bringing my ×1 medical kit.
Okay,
and leaving
so
the ×2
your
on the
simple
rail drive.
survival kit.
Yeah.
Your simple first aid. Great.
And this is the sat phone or the ham radio?
I have the sat phone. That's
Okay,
the
then I
ham
can put
radio
back
in
the
the rail driver.
So which one is the one that this is in the rail
we
driver?
we're not bringing either.
Okay,
I'm leaving the binoculars.
I got mine.
Yeah, I'll leave
Yeah.
mine.
Also
in
mine.
case it all-
I'm leaving my bow, one of my medium survival kits, the axe that we got, and a small bug out kit.
in the baseball bat.
I'm still bringing my pistol and my knife and sword.
Great.
And I'm bringing the AK-47, my machete, and then the mostly empty backpack.
Got it. Great.
So she's flying.
Right. Yeah, you're light.
Do you want to take some shit from me?
So, as Marion, Fillmore, and Johnson, who she introduces, this is Fillmore, this is Johnson.
Which one is which?
Yeah. Which one's tank
Fillmore
top?
is tank top.
Okay.
Johnson is the more well-decorated
Lumberjack.
gentleman. Yes, lumberjack. They're all surprisingly clean, though, as far as like Frontier goes. They're not rocking any grizzly beards, and a lot of their hair is actually trimmed back pretty well. They're not. They actually favor a lot of them, especially the guys, favor like really tight kind of military-style cuts, almost buzz cuts a little
Probably more
bit.
practical.
Very practical, yes. So, two practical-looking gentlemen. All right, so first thing we have to determine is getting over the water. And there's a bridge about a couple miles up that we sometimes used to go over from where Gasconade is. Or we can take one of our boats across the river. But there's always a chance that we could have a couple of these river runners around, and we usually don't like doing it unless we have to. But if time's of the essence, I'm totally willing to try.
Listen, my team is in a bit of unfamiliar territory out here, and we're counting on you to bring us safely over there.
Well, I'm in the mood to get in and get out. So at this point, I say we take one of the rafts.
You're okay?
All right. So you guys walk around the large part of New Haven so that you're on the outer part of the walls. And near kind of where the rising bank is, you can see that there's a couple of Tom Sawyer style just rafts lift together, just, hitched logs that have been put in with some kind of steering pole that kind of take them down.
Are they large enough to fit 8 of us?
You can take 2 of them to fit all 8 of you. But yeah, that's going to require 2. And you guys walk about half a mile upstream so that you can ride it down enough to be able to make it over. So it's all load up. Johnson, why don't you take 3 and I'll take 3. Okay?
Who's on
So-
on which raft?
On the one raft with Johnson,
Yes.
it's going to be Ray and Wraith and I.
Great.
I think.
With Johnson. And so Jenny, Kent, and Marion are with Fillmore.
And I'm definitely sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time we were on a raft together, it didn't go so well.
Very much in the center of the raft.
Yeah.
Although I still brought the same paracord.
Oh, good.
Now, as Johnson basically pushes out Wraith, Band-Aid, and Ray out into it, he does it, but his kind of cups into a spin a little bit because he's not as practiced into this as you guys are holding down. But it stops pretty quickly, and as you can see Johnson kind of pulling out, he actually turns to you, Band-Aid, and goes, "So Asher, what's it like over in the eastern states? Any word from like St. Louis or Chicago?"
Well, it's a thriving community, and we're so happy to be able to bring much-needed supplies out here to the frontier.
God, man, I have a sister in Chicago. So, is everything all right over there? Like, no infected? Is it really true that the whole place is infected free?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. We want to connect to the Livingston community, and
Well, no. I mean, Chicago on the eastern side of the river.
Sure.
Like, is there no infected over there at all?
we'll have to see. I'm here to see for myself.
That's weird. I thought Chicago's on the eastern side of the river.
Oh, that Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
This Is there another Chicago I should be aware of?
Just a small hamlet out there near Kansas City.
New Chicago.
New Chicago.
Right, okay.
It's just been on the map, and so we were going for it. This was in my head.
Yeah.
But you know what? I love this. I love that we're communicating. We just want to keep an eye on the river, maybe.
Right. So at that point, Ray and Wraith make a spot listen check.
1 degree of failure.
1 degree of failure for me too.
Okay. At this point, you two are watching like nervously as
Not
Band-Aid
nervous.
is.
I'm just like, are you fucking kidding
Right.
me? I'm holding back I'm biting my tongue so hard it's bleeding.
No.
And as you guys kind of continue to wane down the river, you actually feel a bump against the raft, and it lifts up just ever so slightly. As you hear Marion go, "River runner!" Shit. And you watch as she pulls out, while holding onto the pole, you watch as she pulls out her shotgun, which at this point you can see is actually shot off, and she just pops around straight into the water, and you watch as it just splashes right next to you. Water cascades down on top of you as she yells over, "Johnson, what the fuck are you doing? Pay attention!"
Yeah, Johnson.
What? Marion! I'm sorry. He continues to try to push with more vigor down along. It's like, I'm sorry, it's all right, it's fine. Did you get it? Yeah, I fucking got it. All right? Just get over across the side. And you watch as you basically continue to push along, and you make it across to the other side of the river. It's not this part of it's pretty thin. It was only about 20 or 25 or so feet. But it banks along the side of the northern side of the Missouri. As you unload, and you can see Johnson is kind of like still shaking a little bit. Not mostly from being yelled at by Marion, more than just having a river runner bump against the raft.
Keep it together. You need you sharp.
Yeah, that's right. God, fuck, I don't know why I did that. I've just started to get in good with her, It's like every single time I make something happen and I feel like I'm on the right track, I just fuck it up. I always fuck it up, man.
I know how you feel.
I'm just gonna turn to this guy and stare at him.
Your life is more important than your reputation.
Right. Okay. Thanks, creepy gray-haired guy. All right, let's get this thing unloaded. And Marion comes and just like whaps him on the back of the head as she continues to just kind of trek off, just trailblazing this thing forward. All right. So here's the thing. I haven't been to these mines. We have some old maps that show where they're at, and I'm guessing they're about 10 miles up north. Now we can cut through some of the smaller towns and get cover as we go from building to building, but of course, there could always be infected there. Or we can just go and rough it and just chop our way through all of the brush and the trees leading up into the mines.
We've experienced so far, towns are generally a bad idea.
And you're forest,
Yeah.
right?
Well, depends on what you've been running into. They are hit and miss, but infected can be inside of the forest just as easily as towns are. It's just sometimes they're easier to spot. But we've got the day, and they don't like usually coming out in the day so much. So we've got hours to burn. I say we use them and make as much trail as we can.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right, great. Cool. Well, keep up.
And I'm gonna call for the Falcon.
Yeah.
We're headed into the forest.
Falcon sounds a lot like
Oh yeah, we have a drone.
Comes down, usual. I pull my canvas over my head. I inspect its claws.
You watch as like Fillmore just kind of almost jumps in his seat. Holy shit, man, you've got a bird?
Yeah, it's a falcon, actually.
Yeah, falcon's a bird.
Cool, huh? Name's Max. He likes liver.
Hopefully not my liver.
I'm gonna throw Max off to make sure, because we're in a forest area. There's trees. He's gonna flutter up to one of the taller ones and kind of disappear in the brush, but he's there.
Okay, so just for my purposes of time versus distance covered, are you guys steady pace? Marion's going nearly double time.
We'll just keep up with her.
We'll let her set the pace.
Okay, so she's setting the pace at nearly double time, giving you guys quite a bit of coverage. You walk for about 3 hours or so as you continue to just brush through, and the frontier's pretty thick at this part.
She seems to know what she's doing, right?
She knows what she's doing. She's pulled out, on top of just her shotgun, she just kind of pulls out a non-serrated machete, just kind of like a black tactical machete, and she's just chipping, just cutting pieces out. And it's she's only making enough room for her really to make like a single line, so she's not doing any extra work to make it easier for anyone to come through. She's just slicing and dicing through. And you can tell as she's just cutting through, she's putting a lot of effort and exertion into this. She occasionally look back towards where Asher is, and you'll see that as she comes back, she kind of like takes an extra heavy swing against items as she just continues to just blaze through this. So,
She likes you.
you
I like me.
yeah, like I said, you make
Well,
about
somebody does.
you make about 3 hours of travel time, covering about 4 miles of the 10-mile journey at this point. So she kind of sits around. You can see that Johnson and Fillmore starting to, like it's starting to exert on them a little bit. They're getting very winded. And you see as Marion kind of like turns around and notices them and goes, okay, stick 5.
Because Band-Aids too. He's not built for this.
You're all getting a little winded. In fact, after the 5-minute break of kind of like water and getting things back out.
I'm exhilarated.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
I love this.
Right, which is why we're now going to represent that. Everyone's going to make endurance checks to kind of see how you're holding this.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's not good.
No, that's great.
No, that's great. You got.
That's a tens digit.
That's a 10?
That's
That's a
an
tens
8.
digit, so you're an 8.
You're
Oh,
an
an
8.
8. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
got it. Okay.
I
thought that was
have
100.
2 degrees of failure.
1 failure.
3 degrees of failure.
All right, anyone who has failures?
4 degrees of success.
Holy crap. Okay,
Can we
great.
buy some of our
Yeah.
failure?
I had 3 degrees of success as well.
Excellent. You can keep pace with everyone, but this is all kind of your personal endurance. So for everyone who got a degree of failure, and in your case with 3, I'm going to take a difficulty dice for you two, because you're getting winded at this point. I'm going to give 2 to Band-Aid because he is just, his chest is hurting at
He's
this
not
point.
an outdoor boy.
Yeah.
So keep it. It's for all future checks until you guys basically
Right.
take a very long rest.
Okay.
5 minutes are up. Let's get moving.
Ah.
I'm
All right.
gonna go over to Wraith and say, kind of almost confused because I don't know that your name is Band-Aid. To me, you're just Asher. I've never known that he's anything else. So I'm gonna say to him, be like, he's kind of out of shape for like an officer, you know.
I've worked many missions with him.
All right.
He's capable.
It's not gonna be a big deal. I'm just gonna make a side little comment like, he's out of shape.
All right. I'm just tired.
So you
And
guys.
we're both, half person sized.
Yeah.
Right.
Half person.
Tiny.
Size. We're twice the man, but half the person.
But you guys continue to trek, keeping up this rugged, just grueling pace. So another 3 hours will take you to close to noon at this point. Maybe like 11:30 or so. There's the time. And you guys will cover another 4 miles at this point. So, but now you're starting to get to where you're at the foothills of the mountains. You can actually see as you're clearing through, the brush is not getting any thinner. Like occasionally you'll get a break as you have to cross a road or something, but as you go back into the underbrush, it's just ferns and grass and either saplings of trees that you have to come through as you're winding around some of the bigger trunks of the wood that's in just this part of the Mississippi. So,
Hey, Ray. Can you ask her if we can stop for lunch? If I ask, she's gonna kill me. But she seems to like you.
I have a better plan. How about you start being a little bit less of an asshole so she actually listens to any of us?
I hadn't said anything this whole time. Just tired.
Just stop talking in general.
All right.
all right, so she continues to walk through, and you basically cover this 3 hours before she starts looking up at the sun at some point and goes, all right, well, you can kind of see she's breathing a little bit as she kind of looks towards the foothills, goes, well, looks like we made it to the foothills. It's gonna be climbing time now. So let's just get some lunch, break out, and we'll all get our climbing gear out, because looks like we've got a mountain to climb. So you break for food. She portions out rations. You all kind of eat as anyone who has climbing gear can start fixing it onto their legs.
Wraith has a lot of it already, just as kind of part of his costume.
Right.
So he just clicks a few carabiners and it kind of like falls into climbing position.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put equip my shoes with spikes, like small little spikes that are like ice pick shoes almost. That'll
Right.
dig into the concrete a little bit.
Yeah.
Crampons.
Yeah, is that what they're called?
Crampons.
Crampons.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
I'm gonna get my cramp on, cramp off. Okay. And I'm going to call for the Falcon again.
God damn, that's cool every single time he does it.
Right? I know,
Johnson.
right?
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Falcon by itself and kind of have a little pep talk with it real quick, away from everyone. Give it another piece of terrible gangrenous meat
Yeah.
Rancid meat.
from my pocket, which I'm going to then empty out because I am out of Falcon meat currently.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last piece, so.
Oh, Fillmore is kind of looking a little anxious, like carving off a piece of his MRE as he's in like, can I feed it?
Yeah.
He kind of he looks over and kind of looks at Marion, who like looks and doesn't say no, basically, as she comes back over, and he kind of takes an opportunity to kind of like eat it. Man, I had a bird before all this. Man, thanks for that.
No problem, brother.
Oh, you got a pretty fucking cool best friend. So,
Hey, Ray.
Ray stumbles in on it right at the end of this, and he goes, "Again? I always miss it."
Rafe, listen. I thought we were going into the mountain and not over it. Do you have any extra climbing supplies?
I have some I can share.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, we're going to group together and create a line,
Oh,
which
good.
everyone will follow. But
Okay.
we'll help you clip in and clip out.
Thanks.
you know, we need to get up this thing, but we also need to get back down it. So we're gonna do our best to walk along the path most traveled.
Cool.
At least to get up here, because they would take trucks up and down here to get into the salt mines anyway. But we have to find the entrance first, and I have no idea where these things are at. So, actually, Johnson, Fillmore, would you guys go and climb up some of these trees and see if you can spot a cave entrance here or anywhere? Johnson's like, yeah, no, I got it, Marion. We got this. You watch it, he pulls his belt on, he like flips kind of like a jean hoodie that he has on there and kind of pulls it tight as he gets like a pair of you actually look like it's like a repurposed rebar that he holds onto it, kind of like a police baton, but it's also got pieces of metal that have been welded onto the top of it so that he can just and then like use his core strength in order to lift himself up with his crampons. And he just spider monkeys up one of the trees as he just kind of clips up there. While
That's how you do it.
You need to get some of those.
Fillmore is a lot slower about it. He's like, all right, fine. As he puts his boot on and he walks about another 500 so feet before he starts climbing up, and they're gone, leaving you with just Marion, who is sitting there kind of making eye contact, giving you all a brief look, not giving you anything at this point. She's just sitting there kind of not making eye contact, but keeping focused on around her, just situational awareness as much as she can.
Marion, have you been running security out here for New Haven since you guys been out here?
Conversation, is it? Okay. Yes. I've been keeping New Haven safe ever since I was appointed it when my husband died.
Sorry.
Well, everyone's got someone who's dead.
Yeah, we do.
And hopefully we'll have less today. Do you really think dynamite is something we're going to find up inside of these salt mines?
Well, we're hoping to find dynamite and maybe something to make more explosives if we're lucky.
Sulfur's been known to lurk in salt mines around these parts. If we can get a handful of that, we got an engineer who might be able to whip some up.
And if it's this difficult for us to get to, then it's difficult for everyone else to steal.
That's a good point. No, the farther areas tend to be less raided, and no one's been out here for years. So we've covered most of these, but we never even thought about the salt mines. Who's going to? Well, no, actually, it's a lie. We brought down salt from parts of it, but most of it's just deposits, but we just use it to cure the meat. So never really thought about sulfur being in there. Huh. Isn't that what part of gunpowder is? Mm-hmm. Huh. All right. Mental note. Did you find anything? You hear as Johnson wakes up. I think I see something. It's a little overgrown, but it looks like it's some kind of hole in the mountain. There's a road leading up to it. And it's overgrown, but it looks like it was laid out at one point with a tractor. All right, come on down. Let's go take a look at it. You watch as he just kind of puts his climbing gear back into his rope and then just like takes around a well-worn braid like a cable and then just kind of like slides down as he just kind of cracks a couple of branches but makes it down with relative ease. As by the time Fillmore, he looks like he was just about ready to climb a tree when he was like, oh good, okay, God, great. As he kind of turns around and comes back, meeting up with Marion. All right, where at, Johnson? This way, here, let me take you up. And you begin to kind of cut through and follow Johnson, who is now taking point to this.
And where's Marion?
Marion is taking up the rear. Basically walk along for another half hour, 45 minutes or so, and you find the trail that Johnson was describing as it seems mostly to just be a little bit of grass that has taken over, because it's a good sign, because even after 15 years of this, it seems to be relatively unsprouted from, and you can clearly see where the dirt is been carved in order to make it part of this like natural foundation. It still takes a while to chug through it all, but eventually you do see what seems to be a fairly open plain of dirt that's been leveled that has a cut into the mountain. And you can see that it would look like what you would expect like a bear cave to look like, but just much bigger. Like it's a good 20-foot clearance up the top and then maybe 30 feet wide, as it just looks big enough to drive very large trucks through if need be. So.
Promising.
Yeah.
I got an idea.
Okay.
Why don't we send the Falcon in for a little bit, see if there's anything in the first 20 feet of this spot that we can't see.
You're making Max a canary in a coal mine?
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm not gonna say no.
I'm gonna take a piece of meat. I'm gonna throw the last piece I have. I'm gonna throw it into the cave. The Falcon's gonna come down, and as he's swooping down, I'm throwing it in the cave. I'm gonna watch him go in.
Okay. The Falcon just kind of swoops in, and you hear a thud, boom, as it seems to have slipped in for a moment, and then you hear a small cry like, ah!
Shit. I'm gonna walk a little bit closer to the cave and take a step by step and wait. I wanna roll a hold right here. Can I roll a hold?
Yeah, you can roll. What would you like to hold for?
I'm gonna hold for to see when I'm gonna get close to the entrance and if he's gonna come out or not, to see if I can hear it.
You just want to wait?
I just want to
hear it?
Yeah, I just want to wait and hear
make
it.
a composure check.
Okay.
Let's just kind of see, because I would like to know what you're holding for, so.
67.
67. Oh, it's 1 degree of failure.
Okay. Your desire?
I have 58 composure, so it's right under.
That's fine.
Okay.
You're fighting a will battle between wanting to check to see if your Falcon's okay and the practical safety of rushing right into something after hearing a sound like that. And you're veering more on the like, you want to go see what's wrong with the Falcon right now, because it's been a second or two since you heard the thud and nothing's happened.
I'm gonna whistle for it again.
Man, sucks. The Falcon kind of like starts kind of stumbling out as it's coming out into the light, and you can see it's holding its wing in like a very kind of pattern that's just kind of like it's dragging it a little bit, like it's trying to hold it, but it is definitely walking back towards you, but it's holding its wing in a really nasty way.
I'm gonna kneel down and look to see if it's been scratched.
No, it looks like it hit something.
It hit something?
Yeah.
Well, you're not flying anymore, little buddy. I'm gonna shine my flashlight to see what I can see in the cave.
As you shine your flashlight into the cave, you can see about 10 or 15 feet into the cave, a large metal kind of gate doorway that, you know, is supposed to just protect the mine from animals and things getting inside of it. It seems to be like a locked down, entrance into the mine.
Well, it would have helped to know that before we sent him in there.
Bendy,
Shit.
I know you work on people. Do you work on birds?
I can take a look at him.
It's got a broken wing. You can set it.
Set
Set it?
Yeah, you can set it.
While he's doing that, Lucky Jenny walks in and takes a look at this lock.
Yeah. It's a grate, like it has probably a similar fence pattern that's like this. So it's not like a steel door, but you can see going into it that it's pretty open, but this grate is just kind of right there. It's just a key lock, you know, at this point. It doesn't even look like it's a padlock or anything like that. It just looks like it has a pretty simple, you know, iron key tumbler that's inside of it that's used to open it. So it's a pretty old mine. You've got lockpicking tools.
Okay.
You're welcome to just take some time with it. Now again, this is a time thing. So you can roll against, I believe the check for that would be, it's definitely an advanced skill. But you could use your tools absolutely as a gear bonus. But I would allow you to do probably your engineering for this, construction engineering in order to make this. And you can use
All
the
of us
tool
or just her?
bonus. Just her.
Okay.
And then since we're rolling,
And
can I
time?
roll?
Oh, sorry.
With her for the first aid check?
You can do it simultaneously. While she's doing that, you can do that.
Yep.
Absolutely. Does anyone else want to do anything while they're working on stuff?
I'm gonna hold the bird in my arm then and
I'm
back
keeping
out of
watch.
the tunnel, so
Yeah.
I'm not in the entrance anymore.
All right, so let's do the first aid check and then let's do the construction engineering check.
And I add the difficulty dice as well.
Yeah, you're exhausted.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're exhausted.
Exploding. So 5, 6, 11 plus 54 is 65. So
still good.
2 degrees of success.
2 degrees of success. Okay, great. You're not going to fix the broken wing, like as far as it still will be broken, but you've set it, you've splinted it, you've wrapped it, and you've basically taken it so that it'll heal.
Also, this is kind of in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Yeah, this is your wheelhouse.
Thank you.
And you watch as like Marion kind of like looks at you, and you can see she's watching you work on this bird. You
So
know?
as I'm making the motion and making a splint and Ben, it's way cooler than that.
But Asher isn't, so that's fine.
Yeah. And so I just take care of this. He might be better left outside. He's not going to be flying anytime soon. I had a pet bird too, and just comes from handling it.
I'm gonna place him off to the side of the tunnel momentarily, and I'm gonna put him in a small little area by a little gathering of rocks, and just kind of lay him there, and kind of move another rock here and there, and the falcon kind of like realizes what's happening and just kind of sits there.
It cushions itself to a little
Cushions
nest.
itself to a little nest.
Yeah, there you go. How'd you do?
Well, I would have done well, but I got an exploding.
Another exploding. So
10.
you're up to 10,
15.
15,
Wow.
18.
Your head's a little swimming from all the exertion from the 10 miles you've walked this day so far, and you're actually feeling a little lightheaded as you're trying to do this fine, dexterous work, and it's taking you a lot longer than what you thought it was going to. So, at this point, we're well past 1 o'clock.
But it would have been 1 degree of failure with all of that.
1 degree of failure.
So you jam it in there, but you're actually having a hard time trying to find a purchase on it because it's got a pretty flush piece. And you watch this like Marion is kind of like, she's just getting, it's like, why didn't I bring fucking bolt cutters? That would have been useful.
And heavy.
I pull out my machete, and I'm gonna take a whack at it.
Take a whack at it?
Yep.
All right. Well, you can have both go at it if you'd like.
I'm not gonna blunt my sweet Viking sword.
No, your crowbar. Your crowbar.
Again with the crowbar?
That seems
Yeah.
dangerous.
Okay.
To have her hack at it while he's...
Well, they're on different parts. One can be doing
What?
the.
I did it. That's how. I mean, that's.
I got much better too. Yeah.
Okay.
I got, well, again, if I'm adding bonus for the crowbar, I think I got 2 successes.
2 successes?
Yeah.
And how about you, Jenny?
I get 4 successes.
I'm
All right.
holstering my weapon as they do this,
Yeah,
ready.
so it starts to
Out
make
there.
clang, 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 clang kind of sounds as you're
Sorry.
slapping against it. Jenny, you basically cleared enough of the chain link fence that's kind of putting this all up in order for Wraith to get the crowbar there, that he could basically use the crowbar to pry and pop and pull the rest of the chain link out.
Yeah.
So after basically making enough of a cut, you're able to pull it enough that you can make a big enough hole for both of you to crawl into it, basically going around the door.
Okay.
You know, going through the chain link.
After we've
instead.
made all that noise, can I do a spot listen to see if there's any
Silence. In fact, it
Yeah.
echoed into the salt mine a little bit.
weird smells?
Yeah, there's a weird smell. It smells like shit.
Okay.
It actually smells like human excrement.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Guns out.
guns out. Is everyone like guns and stuff out?
Actually, I'm gonna. Oh well, yes, but also I'm gonna give you my pistol, and then if you wanna have the
Your pistol's
flashlight
still
up
better than
too.
mine. Okay, yeah, I'll have the flashlight, the little beacon flashlight out.
Remember, you guys don't gotta go too far. All we need is sulfur or dynamite, A or B, whichever comes first.
The hard part is if there's any dynamite that's left, it would be used by miners at the end of tunnels to clear more.
That is correct.
Right. So, but
Damn you and your logic.
this whole doesn't seem to have a lot of twists and turns into this. It seems to actually be going straight into the mountain, pretty clear. And you walk for quite a while, like 15, 20 minutes as you go into the mountain. It is pitch black. You can see a door that's to the side of you, like a standard steel door that has an electronic key card lock that is now dead and gone. But at the same time, you can feel the humidity in the air just gone. You can start to feel kind of your skin crack a little bit as like your lips get dry, and you walk deeper and deeper into the mountain, occasionally passing by these large doors.
Do you have scavenging?
Me?
Yes, Band-Aid. Does he have scavenging?
To like in the forest, not necessarily in the
I was
rocks.
gonna say we could take the electronics of the keypad.
That's
Is
that's
it
what I was
normal to
thinking.
have electronic doors in a salt?
Does anyone want to burn a gestalt dice to get some gestalt knowledge?
That makes
I have
sense.
no gestalt to burn.
I can.
All right. So Band-Aid,
Is it one?
Asher, yeah, just one. Asher, Band-Aid. As Marion's looking around, she's looking and she's like, what in the hell is this? And you recall for a moment, pre-war, you were young, but you remember hearing stories about how people before the war used to store things that they didn't want to get human, didn't wear away, like paper, precious
cremated.
documents, like things they wanted to dry out. They would just shove it in a salt mine, you know, in order to make sure that none of it kept dry and safe. And so like a lot of magnetic tape, documents, not really so much electronics, but just things that they wanted to keep dry, they would just shove in the mountain.
Yeah, I don't know why this didn't occur to me before, but I think people kept things in salt mines.
Huh, really? Why would they do that?
Well, it's naturally dehumidifying.
Well, I
if it's-
get that, but like what would you want to keep dry besides food?
Well, records, civilization.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And you watch as like, this is Fillmore kind of, and he's like, whoa, holy, you think there's documents of like the old war that might be sitting inside of here?
It could be.
Holy
but
crap. He goes over to the door and just starts
Whoa,
jiggling
whoa,
on the
whoa, whoa,
handles.
whoa, whoa,
Okay, sorry, I just got excited.
Now
So,
listen.
Yeah.
This stuff has probably been untouched, but there's nobody here and it hasn't been come back to for a reason.
Right, okay.
If you remember back, the infected started from underground and we're underground.
Oh God. Okay, you're right.
Ground zero, brother.
Well,
Close enough.
well,
So as you kind of get into the mountain, you begin to explore, and again, it cuts through, and you can see this is very deliberately cut, and you do see there is definitely salt all around you, and you can start to smell the sulfur. But as you go through more and more doors, you start to get to the area where there isn't anything anymore, and you can start to see the raw rock that's kind of coming up. And your eyes have adjusted to the dark at this point a little
the
bit,
flashlight.
plus the flashlights. You're able to kind of see around. And
Also,
make us-
just real quick
Yeah.
before we go in, anyone who's got a scarf or anything they can wrap around their mouth, wrap it around the moisture. As you breathe into the moisture, it's just like the cold. Any moisture you breathe out, you'll be able to keep trapped in there. That might help you stay a little more hydrated in your breath and keep
Right.
you from coughing.
and I've got my mask.
got your mask.
My medical mask.
Great, so you've all got some respirators on at this point. As you're shining the flashlight across, you can start to see some of the raw rock, and you can see kind of a makeshift frame door. You know, like one of the wooden ones that look like it's a temporary door to go into a new part of the mine, right? And you can see that area seems to be relatively new as far as the space goes. Ray, you kind of peer around and kind of see that there does seem to be some boxes, but let's see if you can tell what's on the box.
What am I?
Spot
rolling
listen.
against? 1 degree of success.
So 1 degree of success. So you can see a lot of the boxes are not labeled. They're broken, they don't have anything on it, but you can see one of them does say danger, high explosives, literally on the bottom of it. And it's discreet, it's sitting on top of a couple of other boxes. So would you like to check it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us know.
Hey guys, I think we just hit the jackpot, or at least a tiny little jackpot.
It's a small box, but dynamite's not
It's a
big.
good size.
So-
I mean, it's a good sign.
I rush over and I gently look at it just in case.
Just in case?
Yeah, just
Okay.
being cautious.
All right, do you want to open it?
We got a winner?
Yes, I do want to open
Okay,
it.
so it's in that top box right there. Go ahead and grab it. You hear the door break open as you start to see arms just coming through on every side, and you can start to hear the crowds as you start to see infected are banging on this door as loud as they possibly can as they pull items through. I'm going to spend 15 risk right now.
Fuck me, he's gonna spend all his risk
All
points.
my risk, and you have come across a hive at this
we have.
stage inside of the base run.
Dude.
So you can see that's twice for you, Jenny.
I shit his pants.
So mad at myself. I knew that was coming. I knew
You can
it.
see that arms bursting through, and it's starting. They're just starting to peel it away as they're watching as these creatures are coming across. And you can see Marion and Johnson just start unloading their weapons
Yeah.
into the door
Likewise.
as much as they possibly can.
Can we speed roll? Can
Yeah.
we do things? Can we shoot?
Yes, it's an encounter. Let's do this. It's a small encounter, but we're in this at the moment.
That's your start. All right. We need speed. Do we need speed?
Yes, intense.
Okay, intense.
Wraith.
I need
Okay,
one because I'm marksman and sharpshooter.
Scream more like a girl, you or me, I don't know.
How much speed do I need?
Well, if you're running, you're running back with the
I
gear.
want to throw, but I also want to shoot. I want to do all
Well,
things.
you've got the dynamite in your hand
Yeah.
now.
Throw it in my backpack so quick.
Do we get it?
Go.
And with my other hand, grab my AK. Yeah, it's over there.
3
cool.
speed dice, putting it away, running, and shooting the
Grabbing my
AK.
AK, yeah,
3
yeah.
speed dice plus your firing check. Band-aid.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna back away from the door. And,
Yeah.
And go and like scream like a girl and run backwards.
Okay.
That scared me.
1 speed dice
Cool.
to cry. Ray.
Question. I had. How close are these guys? Like right next to us? Right.
Well, right next to Jenny. That was about an accurate distance at that point before she came away. But you're about 10 feet back because you were shining your
Awesome,
flashlight.
'cause I had the flashlight and the long gun.
Yeah.
Is what I had.
Yeah.
Right. Spin and shoot.
Spin and shoot 2
I have
speed
marksman.
dice.
I have marksman and sharpshooter.
So reduce it to 1.
Thank you.
Can
All
I
right.
do an adrenaline boost to get rid of one of the exhaustion dice?
Absolutely.
Both of them?
Yes.
Cool, good.
All right.
Done.
And then how about Kent?
I'm gonna open fire also with the MP.
Unloading into the store.
Unloading into the thing.
Yeah.
All right, kids.
And you actually got to roll that difficulty dice too.
That's huge.
All right.
I'm pulling out my knife and my pistol
Yeah.
and backing up and firing into the door.
All right. 2 speed dice for the pistol shot.
Someone pass me two
Oh,
speedies.
sorry. You didn't roll that.
All right. Roll.
Oh, team. You two, right in here. Roll. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh, but this is dope.
And
What
then
were you doing, Kent? I'm sorry, you were backing.
I was just backing up firing.
Okay, then you need 2 speed
seven.
dice
Speed dice
here,
also, okay.
because if you're firing, it's when you go in this order.
That is genuine.
so remember that number.
All right. So we can resolve your speed dice first, Kent,
So you got a 43.
against your MP5.
My MP5, which is long gun,
Yeah.
which is neither failure nor success.
So 1 degree of success, always a
degree of
minimum,
success.
as long as you got
Okay,
over
cool.
it. So you would have for the long gun, it's 2 damage dice base. Did you want to spend another one in order to get another damage?
Sure.
So roll 3 damage dice then.
And then what's the depletion on that?
1.
This explodes.
Roll it. All right. Roll again. 23. Great.
Well done.
All right. So you just unload into the doorway. You can hear screaming as the infector is just kind of caught off guard. As
Some
it
of
comes
that is
across.
Band-Aid.
So,
This is
Band-Aid.
more like.
You basically start backing out through as you're lining up with Marion, Johnson, and Fillmore at the moment.
yeah.
So, and then Wraith is back, and how's your pistol shot?
I have 4 degrees of failure.
4 degrees of failure. How would you like to resolve your failure, sir? I have a suggestion. That's not too bad.
Okay.
For 3, I can have your gun jam.
Yeah, I was going
right.
to say that's probably one of them. Okay.
All
So
right.
still 1 left. How about he doesn't? I don't have a ton of experience with pistols. So let me just say, when the gun jams, I don't realize it.
Yeah. So you keep pulling the trigger.
So I keep pulling the trigger, and maybe I take an extra speed die next round or something.
Extra speed dice next round's perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, guns jam. You're basically gonna have to take a speed dice just to clear it.
To unjam it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or I can put it away and do something else. We'll
Put it
see.
away.
We'll decide then.
Ray.
I had 5 degrees of success.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Gun him down.
how big is this opening at this point? So it's like single file essentially at
Yeah.
this point. Great. I'm gonna unload my rifle directly into that hole with my sharpshooter and marksman ability.
Great.
Straight through one, right into the one behind it.
All right. So put a heavy caliber bullet right through that door. You
And-
just want to lay out all the damage. I'll have it
Yeah.
count for any targets that are behind it.
So, how many damage?
So it's 2 to start with. And if you
But-
got 4 degrees of success,
I got 5 degrees of
you can
success.
burn all of them for 8 if you want, or
do it.
You can't do a headshot. You can't do a called headshot because you can't see the target. They're behind
Right,
cover.
but I also can't. I can't do an additional action.
You could, yeah. If you wanted to burn one of those out of intent in order to move or do anything else, I would allow it. But you got to decide quickly because they're coming.
Let me just get them.
All right, 8.
2 exploding. 3, 6, 7, 9, 14, 15, 25, 30.
All right. So as you watch as a bunch of more hands come out, and you can see as they pull their hands out, you can see they actually all have webbed fingers at this stage as they're kind of trying to pull pieces of the brick and the boards out. You watch as in just this bolt action 30-06 just echoes. It's just like a boom inside of this cave as the sound bounces everywhere as you watch. It's just as the bullet goes through and it splinters some of the wood that's alongside of it as you see the bodies just pushed back against the side of the wall. So on top of just the small arms fire that you were laying into on the MP5, you can see that the hole's pretty clear at this moment. Let's go back down to Jenny.
All right, so I had 1 degree of failure. I
Okay.
had 2 over. That's still a failure.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no, 2 over, that's 1, if it's not 12 over, is it 12? 12?
No, it's 2.
2,
Just
then it's
2
0
over.
degrees of failure.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to resolve,
Okay.
all right? So at this point, you ran, but you ran back, but I'm not saying you put any shooting.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I just trying to get out of it.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Marion just says, run! Just go, just leave them! As her, Johnson, and Fillmore just start booking it, just turn tail and fly, as you can start to hear that more of the cries are coming from down the hall, as the door is at this point clear, but you can hear more just echoing. As you just continue to watch the salt mine just makes it sound like it's all around you at one point, and just the sound is coming into your bones, it feels like, as you run all the way through the salt mine. And you start to come through endurance checks if you're full bore going into this.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Damage, your people who adrenaline boost, you're fine for the moment. Anyone who didn't, just keep your damage, your difficulty die.
How do you use an adrenaline boost? Is that just something everybody has, or only specific people?
I just was very scared, so
Okay,
I said,
got it.
There is a thing called adrenaline boost. It
Okay.
will just mean that after this time is done, you're gonna take a shit ton more speed dice. So you're negating speed or difficulty
You're
and
trading it
speed
off.
now and trading it off for having it more of it later.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
You don't have any difficulty dice right now, though.
No.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I don't need it then.
Yes.
2.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Well, forget
And he's
that.
gonna
I'm as
suffer.
cool
He's
as a
gonna
cucumber.
suffer for it later. But now endurance checks, because we need to kind of hoof this at this point, and you may get more at this stage.
Oh wait, this is mine too, because I had the one.
Yeah.
Scared Band-Aid's a fast Band-Aid. Yeah.
So I have 2 degrees of success.
I have 3 degrees of failure.
All right.
I have
well, then-
1 degree of failure.
Then 1 and 2 for you.
Okay.
Difficulty dice. So as you're continuing. Basically, all checks now require that.
So that
3
adds
degrees
into your
of success.
percentage.
Okay.
And then for the people who had successes, you're fine, and you had 3.
3 degrees of success.
So I will 100%. I don't know if you want to take advantage of it now, but I will tell you that one of the doors is cracked open for those degrees of success.
One of the doors going into the
Archive
doors.
rooms.
archive rooms.
Yes.
You know what? I'm just gonna take a peek.
Okay.
Do it.
As you run in and you run through and you open the door real quick, you can see film reels everywhere, just like cans. As you put your flashlight around, you can see literally a film archive.
I'm gonna grab 2 with the 2 closest things.
Okay, you got some valuable salvage, son. All right.
Cool.
So we're gonna grab it. You're gonna just basically grab 2. Name 2 movies.
Oh, Gone with the Wind and Citizen Kane.
Done. All right. So you grab 2 of those film reels and you just are holding them now as you're just booking it.
But also, I'm gonna set a lighter off and light the rest of it.
Holy dick nuts. Okay, sure. Yeah. So you've set a lighter in, and
I have a Molotov if you want to wait. We can really blow it up.
the issue is that it's mostly cans, but you're just throwing. It's mostly just steel, so it's like the whole.
It's not open.
It's not gonna.
yeah.
It's not gonna.
Probably not going to catch anyway.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I mean, if there was just a pile of film, sure, maybe.
yeah.
Papers. I was picturing like.
It's
documents.
all
Just
film
film.
cans.
It's all film cans. Okay.
Yeah, in there.
Never
So
mind.
you turn around and you just keep running as you as you keep going. But now Marion or actually Fillmore, as he's running with you, he's like, "What is that?"
I don't know.
Okay, all right. And as he's looking at you, something just comes out from the side and just tackles Fillmore down as he comes down, and you watch as the infected just tears his whole throat out.
Oh my God.
As he just falls down into the ground, and you can hear him screaming as you continue to run all the way down through into the salt mine, and you can see the small halo of light continuing to get bigger and bigger and bigger as Marion, looking behind you, just doesn't even stop for a beat and just keeps moving as everyone is just running, and you can hear this just continuing to echo behind you as you come out into the open midday air. So, Ray, looks like you have some degrees of success to still resolve out of this. How would you like to do so?
Yeah, as I was running, I was able to spin around and keep an eye on whether they're still in pursuit past the daylight area.
Right, okay. So as you turn around to see if they're still coming from the salt mine?
Yeah.
All right. As you're basically moving around, checking your 6 to make sure that there's still nothing coming around, you can still see the pale kind of translucent skin of the river runners that seem to be behind you, and they do seem to be moving. Not at a breakneck speed, but they are definitely moving forward in pursuit at this stage.
Gotcha. Jenny, get your gun ready.
I pull this out.
Okay.
Pull out the AK-47.
All right, you pull out the AK-47.
And I'm still.
And you guys get to the chain link grate. That is essentially the entrance into the salt mine, as you can see the sun ahead of you. All 5 of you, 6, 7 of you, crawl through the piece of the chain link fence at this point. Marion turns to someone and goes, "Can we button that up? Can we close that?"
Yeah, I'm gonna use the pickaxe because it has a crowbar end.
Yeah.
Try to bend it into place.
Okay.
Is there anything that we can avalanche down with a shot?
Marion looks around and goes, "No, I don't see anything to overhang. Are you sure that's gonna hold? I mean, we just bent that open."
Well, it depends on how strong they are.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. So shove that in there. All right, let's get down this mountain.
I'm gonna grab my falcon the minute I run out, sitting there, swoop him into my jacket.
Fillmore. Fuck. Why does it always have to be someone? As she watches, as she basically comes around, and she seems to just be walking a bit in circles as she's waiting for you to just kind of jam this thing in there. And she just kind of grabs Johnson and goes, let's go, Johnson. All right, we're taking off. And you start walking down the trail as you can kind of hear the infected.
Jenny and I will bring up the rear.
Yeah.
All right.
With our guns.
I'm gonna toss a Molotov cocktail in there to slow him down. Possibly.
Oh, yeah, did you bring one with you?
I did.
Yeah, okay, great. So as you pull out a bottle.
Before you
Throw it.
close it up.
Yeah, before you close it up, you know what I'm saying? Well,
you can go over the fence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's gonna seal it up, and then I'm gonna throw it over after.
Great, make the throw check.
All right.
Only you.
Do I have the
prevent
difficulty dice
forest
too? For the
fires.
endurance?
Those are forest fires. This is a mine fire.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In the pit, please.
Well done.
32 plus 8, so you're at 40.
40, and my throw is at 53, so that's
1 degree.
1 degree of success.
All right, tell me the story.
My hands are fiddling because I only have one arm, and I kind of hold the Molotov there, and I light the top of it. I tuck Max in and say, "You want to see a fire?" And I throw it. The bottle hits the top of the fence, and it ping, 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 ping. It kind of tink, 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 tinks. Whoosh, huge, big pile of flame. You hear the
you actually watch as like the fire illuminates the river runners a second, and you watch as they kind of throw their arms up, and the smoke kind of mushrooms up and then peels out through the top of the cave.
Okay, as that's happening, I'm still at the gate, and like that took me by surprise.
Yeah.
I turn around and I grab him. I'm like, "Cool people don't look at explosions," and you gotta go, go, go.